We're given a 1-hour tryout to Disco Elysium. Game came out October of last year and it was very popular. A lot of people liked it. A lot of people were real into it. This game, I believe, in development was called No Truce with the Furies, and they changed it shortly before release to Disco Elysium, because everyone kept reading it as No Truce with the Furries. And I don't know if there are furries in this game. I didn't see any from what I saw. But Disco Elysium is probably an evocative enough name. So, this is on PC. We're going to get started. We're going to play. We're going to read. There is a lot of text in this game. It's like an old school computer RPG, but with no combat. All the interactions that we're doing is through dialogue and text. And we're going to get going with this. Now, there are archetypes we can choose. We can also create our own. It probably would take quite some time if we wanted to do this, because we have these different stats. And a big thing about the game are the skills: logic, encyclopedia, rhetoric, drama, conceptualization, visual calculus, volition, inland empire, empathy, authority, esprit de corps. I will just say that in my normal New Jersey voice. Suggestion, endurance, pain threshold, physical instrument, electrochemistry, shivers, half-light, hand-like coordination, perception, reaction speed, savoir-faire, interfacing, and composure. So these are all the different stats, and unlike stats in most games, these stats talk to you. They're basically characters into themselves, and the stats that you put the most points into, they'll be the ones who talk the most. They'll have the loudest voices. So it seems to me like this game could possibly be considerably different based on the stats that you put points into from what I've seen so far. But I'm just going to pick an archetype. Since we only have an hour, and we could probably spend a lot of time on those stats. Anyway, Thinker, extremely sensitive, very bad with people. Knows interesting facts, comes up with original ideas. Or sensitive, very psychological, a magnetic personality, but unstable. Might begin to lose his mind. Physical, extremely physical. Interacts with the world through his body. Gets things done, but dumb as a rock. For this 1-hour look, probably sensitive will be an interesting thing to look at. We'll go with that. And his main stat is Inland Empire, which may sound like a strange name for a stat. But I will get to know what that's about, I guess.
There is nothing. Only warm primordial blackness. You're conscious ferments in it, no larger than a single grain of malt. You don't have to do anything anymore.
That sounds good to me.
Ever.
Very nice.
Never, ever.
Maybe we could question it.
Never, ever, ever, baby.
Well, just keep on doing what we're doing. Sounds like we're getting by all right.
An inordinate amount of time passes. It is utterly void of struggle. No ex-wives are contained within it.
It sounds pretty good.
Yes, it is.
Well, give me some more.
You got it, sweet brother. Nothing upon nothing upon nothing.
I like nothing.
I know you do, baby. I know.
Well, how about you cough up some more of that sweet oblivion?
Coming right up, sir. Smooth passage.
But what if we want to get off now? What if we like pain and burning light and wanting things from people who don't want to give them to us?
Do you really?
Well, as appealing as inky blackness is, it probably doesn't make for a very good video game, so let's get off.
You wouldn't like it if I told you what was back there. Why'd you think you had to bludgeon yourself into oblivion? Or did you not sense yourself marinating? Poured so much over yourself. Got a bit carried away, did we, Chef?
Inland Empire is telling us that we should ask what's out there. Well, apparently we did this to ourselves. Let's ask about that.
Yes, your one disco mother.
Well, what's waiting out there for us?
There's this giant ball there, in evil apes. And the evil apes are juking it out on the ball. You're one of them. It's basically all just evil apes juking it out on a giant ball.
It's a fair assessment of the world, but how big is the ball?
You can't even make out it's a ball when you're juking it out. It's that large.
But how small are the apes?
Infinitesimally small.
Let's talk more about this duking it out. What is it?
Vying for resources. It's a stupid expression you picked up somewhere. The part of the presentation you want to take home with you is this. You have to beat the other evil apes in the face, or you lose.
Well, most video games are about that, so let's go, I guess.
Somewhere in the sore, bloated man-meat around you, a sensation. Like a fly to the ointment, your conscience sticks to it. The limbed and headed machine of pain and undignified suffering is firing up again. It wants to walk the desert, hurting, longing, dancing to disco music.
Volition is telling us that we can take it, that we're a champion. I do like this one. Mother help me. There's a head attached to my neck, and I'm in it.
The stench of liquor rises from your mouth, and with it, an ungodly headache.
Who am I? What sort of creature does this to their own mouth?
A fiery streak penetrates your skull, trying to force your eyes open. It's a sound, a clarion call from hell.
Let's open our eyes. Well, here we are. This is us. I guess this down here is our mental image of ourselves. Our apartment is not looking too good, and we're not looking all that good ourselves. There are things we can click on. Might as well click on them. This magnum-sized bottle of Commodore Red is empty. Well, we can probably guess where it went. Looks like someone tore out the tape while the song was playing. Oh, we can hold tab. And if we do that, we can see what we can interact with. So, things in the environment we can interact with. And we can just see what they are. Which is a good feature. It's good to be able to see that in one of these games. This reel-to-reel tape player is still on. Rolling empty. We can take a shoe. We got a green shoe. Green shoe, only the left foot. This green crocodile leather shoe has a high heel and chrome embellishments. It fits your left foot perfectly. Now all that remains is to find the other shoe. Oh, we can level up. No, we do not have enough skill points available. So we can level up our skills. You can see how many points we have per skill. Intellect, real low. We are not a smart man. Motorics, we are not especially coordinated, I guess. Physique, we're doing okay, even if we might not look it. And psyche is our, this is the big one that we have in this archetype. We can look at our pants. Might be a good idea to put some pants on. I do like how we put on the one shoe. Perception is telling us that we hear a jingle. Perception tells us that we have keys in our pants. It says whirling in rags on the aluminum key ring. There's a single key in the ring. Number 1 is etched on it. It should open the door. So we have the key that we can use to open our door, which is good. shirt over here. That's a jacket, actually. We got a disco-ass blazer. Let's have a look at these things. Looks like someone skinned this blazer off some long-extinct disco animal. It has an enigmatic white rectangle on the back and the right sleeve. So clothes can give us bonuses to stats. What do the pants do? -1 to savoir-faire, and +1 to electrochemistry. So the chances of you succeeding or failing the various skill checks in the game are affected by the clothes you're wearing. You see, if we needed a skill check that required a lot of savoir-faire, we might want to take our pants off. It might be something we want to do. We can look at the fan. The fan has two chain pull switches. One ends in a tiny fan, the other in a light bulb. A truly horrific necktie has somehow attached itself to one of the blades. Inland Empire asks, maybe it's there as a punishment. We feel as though this creature is our friend and wants to reattach itself to our neck, so that we may continue our adventures together in this strange world. Well, first, let's try turning on the light. A terrible mistake. Turn the lights off immediately. You can practically feel the photons burning a hole in our brain. Pain threshold tells us that it's just a little hangover-induced photosensitivity, and we should not overreact. But let's turn the lights off. It's clearly bothering us. Savoir-faire, so we need that skill point, that particular skill to grab the tie. What's our skills like again? Where is it? 1 point. Okay, so we only have 1 point for that. It's fairly likely I'll fail this if I try to grab the tie. Yeah, it's only 28%. I just happen to know that if we fail this one, we will take damage. And we have, we're not doing too well in terms of health, I don't think. No, actually, we do have... Yeah, okay, that's right. It's these are the pips are the health. Then the 0 is the health items. I think it's how it went. And we could... So we do have some room to take some damage if we want to try to get this tie, but the chance is so low that I would get the tie. I could try taking the pants off. How does that affect our ability to get the tie? 42%. Yep. Going pantsless was the way. But what if we pull on the fan? Can we increase our chances here? The blades come squeaking to a halt. It should be easier to grab the tie now. 83%. Because we turned the fan off. Probably we will succeed now. Success. We swoop up and catch the tie. Snap. It's released from the blade. Warning, warning. The necktie is no longer contained. What we have in our hand is a fantastically colorful tie with 4 or 5 different patterns. The knot reminds us of a noose. All right. So pants go back on. And here's our tie. Let's have a look at that. The necktie is adorned with a garish pattern. It's disturbingly vivid. Somehow you feel as that it would be wrong to ever take it off. It's your friend now. You will betray it if you change it for some boring scarf. So this gives us +1 to Inland Empire, which is our main stat. So now that's even higher. Is that good? Well, maybe having too much of a vivid imagination might not be so good. We'll see. We're still stumbling, though. Not moving too fast. You see bottles in the bathtub. Wine, beer, and sweet liqueurs. Take a shirt? Sure. White satin shirt. The white satin shirt used to be fancy. Used to really catch the light. Now it smells like someone took a piss in the armpits. So we get +1 to conceptualization and -1 to suggestion because it smells bad. A mirror hangs above a bent and broken sink. In a fierce discharge of masculine energy, someone has ripped half the faucet off. It's very manly. Hot water sprays from the basin, steam covers the mirror. You cannot see yourself, just the outline of a man. Suddenly you realize you have no memory of the face that awaits you there underneath the soft vapor. Really? Nothing? Really. All recollection of the person you are, the people in your life, and even the world you're in has drowned in a sea of blood alcohol. This was no mere night of drinking. It was a deluge of world-ending proportions. Maybe we should wipe the mirror. As you slowly reach your hand towards the surface of the mirror. Inland Empire tells us to abort. We clearly have not thought this through. We won't like what we see there, and we will never unbecome it. So if we don't know what we look like, once we find out, we'll never be able to forget about it, I guess. Maybe I should touch it first, make sure there's nothing wrong with my face. Yeah, there's something definitely wrong with it. Well, what's wrong? Where to even begin? There's the bloatedness, then the swollenness. It's like an upholstery of alcohol underneath my skin. I'm sorry. Touch my nose. Bet you are. Your nose feels like a small balloon in the middle of your face. It hurts when you honk it, and it doesn't appear to be a particularly tiny nose either, not with all the drinks it's absorbed for you. Well, at least my tongue is okay. It's not. It's swollen and snail-like, wriggling between your fingers. I'm scared. I want to stop doing this. Don't be scared. It's only your face. It's not like anyone is going to see it. Notice the person talking to us right now is the mirror. That's the character that is telling us these things. We should wipe the mirror and just see what we look like. Behold! You have no idea who this thing is, do you? Dear Lord, help me. What is this? Whatever this is, at least it's dead now. There's clearly rigor mortis on your face. Or wait, is that an expression? Are you trying to make an expression with that face? I'm not making it. The face is making it itself. Please stop. It's horrible. You're scaring yourself. Okay, let's try to stop. Oh my god, you can't stop. It's like it's not even voluntary anymore. You've worn that grin into your face and now it won't come off. What does it even mean? What is the emotion you're trying to convey? Well, it could be superstardom. We could say it's indescribable. Suggestive. Vaguely sympathetic in a sad has-been kind of way. Or maybe it's just an expression of pain. Maybe we might say it's for the ladies. Please promise you are not going to try it on any of the ladies, whatever happens. We could promise but lie, or no one. Well, let's lie about it. We gained experience. You liar. You can't even tell the truth to yourself. Go ahead, try something. Okay, so encyclopedia. Oh, very low, 3%. So this choice is dig deep into your mind to locate the source of the expression. Electrochemistry, 3%. Attempt to stop the expression from happening. So these are so low, we would never be able to do it. But, okay. Let's try to force the expression off of our face. Failure, of course. It was only 3%. It's too late. Like an image on film, the expression belongs to your primary motor cortex. It would take a minor neurological miracle for you to cease producing it. Well, let's let the mirror be for now. Well, at least we know what we look like. But is that a good thing? Who can say? I don't think there's anything we can do with this. There's something else we can click on. This is yellow. These cracks in the mirror, in the window over here. The window stands broken in its frame. A cold wind blows in. Okay, we can look out, but if we have a high enough visual calculus, 42%, we can assess the damage. I don't think any of our current items affect that. Let's see. Visual calculus is it's only 1. It's quite low. I don't think any of our items are affecting that. So I guess we cannot adjust this. Let's try it. Well, 40%. There's a chance. Let's try to do it. Failure. What do you mean, assess the damage? How would you do that? What are you even trying to do? We cannot assess. Let's look out the window. The morning light hurts your eyes. It's hazy, but you see the ocean and some war-torn buildings. Let's leave. Don't think there's anything else in this room. Well, so let's leave. Now we're walking normally now. Someone over there, but let's have a look around. Something on the table. Monies. We got 0.4 real, I think is how you pronounce it. Need to do something behind Lieutenant Kutsuragi's back? Sneak out after he's gone to sleep. No, we haven't met him yet. Something out over here. And we found the other shoe. Must have thrown it out the window. Alright, now we have both shoes. Secret task complete. Find our other shoe. We gained experience because this was actually a side quest. They are both two identical shoes, both copiously green and indiscriminately snakeskin, reunited on your feet. How do they fit? Good. They're balanced. Comfy. Feels like the only good thing about you right now, truth be told. And this? A gust of briny wind washes over us. I don't know if we can look at anything from out here. No, we can't go to the door, of course. Oh, what's this? The smell of the sea makes you dizzy. Map tab in our journal lists all the white checks we can reattempt. Alright. Let's see what this says up here. The calendar says it's March. The year is 51. What are the first two numbers to that? We don't know. Does this even take place in our world? Hard to say. Maybe not.
Hello, officer.
Klaschi? Miss Aran... I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. The young woman raises a cigarette to her lips. Officer, am I military personnel?
No.
She seems perplexed by our question. Authorities tells us that there's only one solution to this. We're a businessman. Wait, I know. I'm a businessman. Chief Executive Officer, right? Young woman shakes her head slowly. All right. Chief Technical Officer?
No. You're a police officer, sir?
But goddamn right I'm a policeman, and don't you forget it.
Cool, I won't.
Empathy tells us that she means it. She wouldn't defy authority, however sweaty and bloated it may look. No need to be alarmed. I was just getting into character, you know?
Okay.
She breathes in the silvery smoke. Whoa. Something wants to come out of us. A bit of vomit? Thankfully, we keep it down because our body does not control us. How did you know I'm a police officer?
Sir, you've been here for 3 days. On official police business, as you put it.
And what business is that?
I couldn't say. In truth, so far, mostly drinking.
All right, so one of the choices here is a role, which is try the expression on her. Let her know that we want her physically. 58%. That's higher than I thought it might be. Well, I don't remember being a cop or anything else. Who in the right mind would let me be an officer of the line? Well, I mean, I guess we have to try the expression. Success! Wow. Try the expression? Come on, why are we still doing this? I'm at death's door, a bloated, a goner, and still... does the longing ever stop? Alcohol raises testosterone levels, especially in men, she says matter-of-factly. The levels remain elevated after inebriation ends and the pain begins. You seek comfort. It's only natural. I was hoping we would fail that check. He is much less eloquent if we failed the check. Let's continue. She puts out the cigarette. She looks back at us, a light glinting off her eyes. And no, it never stops.
Goodbye.
Looks like she left a nice long stub in the ashtray. They're still smoking. You should pick that fat, juicy cigarette butt from the tray, light it up, and smoke the living shit out of it. The what now? The living shit. Your mesolimbic reward pathway does not mince words. It wants smokes. Am I a smoker? Who knows what you are? A monster? A murderer? The gnome of Jeroma? You feel like a smoker, especially when you look at that juicy, succulent, seductive cigarette stub, still smoldering deliciously. But she broke it at the filter. I can't smoke that. How very astute of you. This renders it ineffectual. You should look for a whole cigarette. Or better yet, an entire pack. Strike that, a carton. Make sure they're all healthy and able-bodied. Then smoke them all. So electrochemistry is, I don't know how good of a voice that is to listen to. He really wants us to just take any kind of chemicals that we come across. Horrific necktie. The idea seems to make our neck expand. Suddenly the garish tie feels very snug. Volition. Or you could not do that. No one's making you. I feel like we should maybe listen to electrochemistry. I should enthusiastically do that. Good. They'll make you stronger and better. You're too old to be cool now, but find cigarettes, smoke them, blam! Instantly a cruel renegade man, a mystical red dragon with smoke rising from his nostrils. New tack. Find smokes and smoke them. Plus, smoking them gives massive bonuses. Door is closed. We could try the handle. Door can only be opened with a key or from the inside. We can knock. There's no answer. You hear the shower being turned on somewhere inside. A tremendous loneliness comes over me. Everybody in the world is doing something without me. Now, you might notice that Inland Empire, he talks a lot, and that's because it's my main stat. Like, if I had a different stat as the main one, that stat would be doing most of the talking. So that's why I say that it seems like this game could change quite a bit based on the stats that you choose. For this one, we have Inland Empire, but it could have been another stat, and they all talk very differently. Beauty, don't abandon me in all this ugliness. The door does not care. The door probably thinks you're a has-been loser, too. You feel your funny necktie becoming tighter and tighter around your neck. Let's knock again. Still no answer. Knock again, much harder. Still nothing. Half-light. You should punch a fucking hole in it. What is... I want to remind myself what half-light is. Half-light... Let the body take control. Threaten people. All right? Half-light could be a dangerous one to listen to. Let's suppress the urge. The murmur in your ear recedes slowly. Your breathing normalizes. That's one lucky door. So, we, when I did that stat check of how, if the expression would work, if that failed, I believe the exact thing our character says is, I want to make fuck to you. And she laughs at that. She finds it very funny. This is the weekend edition of the satirical newspaper, Trompe le Monde. Nothing on the front page rings a bell. Strange. So, the success or failures of our interactions is based heavily on our stats and dice rolls. Luck plays a big part. Summer door closed for the winter. Well, that only makes sense. This is where the lyrics would be. big old karaoke mic, just waiting for someone to sing into it. The speaker is connected to the radio. The music is seasoned with static. Inland Empire says that we should totally sing karaoke here, the first chance we get. Our emotions need to be expressed. People need to know of my vast oceanic soul. My soul's cubic content is obscured by the hangover. Of course, at this point, precise measurements of our soul can only be performed by the outside. It needs to be heard through a PA system by other people. Half-Light says that whether they like it or not, we need to ram it up their ears, says our adrenaline gland, violently express ourselves. What should I sing when it comes to it? We have not yet stumbled on the right lamentation, but it's out there. It'll come to us. We'll wreak havoc with it, don't worry. Lamentation sounds good. They'll really get a gauge on my soul with that. Serves them right. Wipe that smirk off their face with our sad, tragic song. Who's laughing now? No one. We have to find something tragic to sing first, though. So this is, we just activated a side quest. Find Smokes is one of the side quests. Sing karaoke. Find a tragic tape, play it on a boombox to memorize lyrics, ask the cafeteria manager to perform, preferably in the evening. More people at the bar then. So first part of this is getting hold of a sad song. Find Smokes. Well, that's just pretty clear. Just find some smokes. Let's finish the thought. Oh, someone right here that we can talk to. Gart, the cafeteria manager. A man in his late 20s stands behind the counter, inspecting a stuffed seabird. As you approach, he gives you a sideways glance, then looks down again. Empathy tells us that that was disdain in our eyes. Even now, he's purposefully ignoring me. Something tells me you don't like me.
Oh no, you're a hero. A real hero cop.
So, not only am I a cop, but I'm also a hero?
Yes, you are. A real decorated hero.
What did I do?
What did you not do? First, you took the body down. Then you solved the murder. Then you didn't trash my hostel room. Maybe you even negotiated the strike.
I'm guessing I didn't do any of those things?
You're right, you didn't. And it's only taken you 3 days not to.
Well, what have I been doing all that time? Have you seen me around?
No, I haven't seen you around. I'm not always here.
He looks down again and keeps plucking at the bird. Let's look at the stuffed bird. Competent work of taxidermy. The white and brown seabird lies among piles of coasters and drying mugs, one of its wings broken. The man is trying to mend it. Looks like the bird was ripped off the shield that was used to mount it, most likely on a wall. Inland Empire says that something about this makes us feel bitter. Hey, what happened to the bird?
Look, your buddy is over there.
He looks at the doors, where a man in a bomber jacket is tapping his foot on the floor.
Why don't you go and talk to him, okay?
What do you mean, my buddy? He pretends not to hear us. Are you the bartender?
No, I'm not the bartender. I'm the cafeteria manager.
You look like a bartender.
That period of my life is over. Not everyone who stands behind a counter is a bartender, okay? I'm the cafeteria manager.
What's the difference?
I have 3 cafeterias to manage. 3. Sylvie tends the bar here, not me. I'm only standing in.
Where did this Sylvie go?
She just, you know.
He shrugs. Empathy tells us that there's something there and it's not good. That's all we know for now. Auto-saving. Oh, we can look at this up here. The menu has been wiped clean. Only the word Monday is written on it. This is a water cooler. A large bubble is rising to the surface. We can take a fire... Nosafed? Like, the icon looks like a fire extinguisher, but I guess we got a healing item. Items... Oh, it's down here. In the... Like, that 0 is now turned to 1, so we have 1 charge of a healing item. We don't need to use it right now. Doors bolted. A sign reads, kitchen reserved for personnel until 1300. The soft purr of an electric juicer comes from the kitchen. Someone's working. The sign reads, mess hall reserved for union members. Doors open 1600. Well, down here is the person who's waiting for us, so let's do whatever else we can before we talk to that person.
Hello, sweetie.
Says Lena, the cryptozoologist's wife.
You shouldn't keep your colleague waiting.
She nods towards the man in the orange bomber jacket. What if I want to keep him waiting?
Hello, sweetie. You shouldn't keep your colleague...
I guess that's all she's going to say for right now. What's this over here? The Royal Pinball Machine is unplugged. No pinball for us. Ah, there is someone down here. A bottle of rum has been knocked over. Beautiful, dark liquid is spilling out. That sugary black rum stain on the counter makes you teary-eyed with joy. It's almost touching how syrupy and sticky it is. How long have you been up already? Pretty long. It's drink o'clock. Attaboy. It's coming back to him. You had your mesolimbic reward pathway worried there. Not thinking about drinking all that time. It was like you weren't yourself. I've been secretly thinking... Well, actually, should I be thinking about... Now that you mentioned I do need... We have been secretly thinking about it all this time. There he is. The old boy, the devil. You rascal, you. Let's celebrate right now by licking that stain off the counter. Do it. Be wild. Let's lick the rum stain. You press your tongue against the counter. The stain is crusted first, but after a couple of licks, it starts to melt like a snowflake. If snowflakes were made of spiced black rum. Maybe it's your imagination, but there's already some lemonade in it too. And some human hairs. New task, find booze and drink it. That would go well with those cigarettes. It's a great combination. Alright, new side quest. Find booze. Find a bottle of alcohol, put it in your hand, equip it to the held slot in the inventory, and the magic will happen on its own. Let's talk to this fellow. Sleeping dock worker, a man is sleeping at the table wearing mud-caked boots and roll-down overalls. The back of his shirt reads Wild Pines, encircled by a logo with a tree. On the counter, rolled out of his open hand, you see a blister pack of headache medication. We could pick up the pills, or we could try to wake him up. 42%. I mean, maybe we should take the pills. We got the pills. Magnesium. Okay, so that is a morale healer. So you can take physical damage, which, well, I mean, you know what HP is. But there's also morale. If you get depressed, you will lose the game. So keep your morale up. We have not gotten depressed yet, but it can happen. The man does not mind. You probably need them more than he does. You've just picked up medicine, stored in the lower left corner of the screen. Let's try waking him up. Success! There's only one way to awake this bone idol from his slumber. Roar like a hurricane, rip the buildings from the earth. No words, just a primordial scream. The 30-something man slowly lifts his head and gives you a pensive look. Why are you yelling, man? You're alive? You looked out for the long count there. Wait, what? I was just sleeping. He seems pissed off. What do you want, officer? Officer? Even after a rude awakening, this dock worker respects the police. More than they usually do, at least. Yeah, authority is very concerned with people respecting us and our position as a police officer. Yours? Point at the bottle and the spilt rum. Indeed. Help yourself to some. He blinks. Wait, no, it's empty. Sorry about that, pal. I already had some. It's a fine rum. Knocks you right out when you drown a bottle or two. He rubs his face, then buries it in his hands. You can hear a faint snore. See anything interesting in your dreams? Thank God, no. Was it a fathomless darkness into which we ought to be deferred, like corpses to a mausoleum? The worker stares at us, his eyes dry from sleep. A web of wrinkles covers his tanned forehead. I don't know what you're talking about, kind sir, but when I'm out, then I'm really out. No corpses, no mausoleums, just quality time. Inland Empire says, a little me time in the abyssio-pelagic zone. You can never return to it now. Only the detective work remains, wakefulness and detection. Tell me about Wild Pines. That's the name of my employer. I work in logistics. Empathy says that he doesn't sound too enthusiastic about this. How's that going? How's it going? The dock worker lets out a big yawn that stares at the cafeteria's terrace doors. Some fingerprints glisten on the glass. Haven't you noticed what's going on outside? I've almost never been outside of this building. Good. He doesn't dwell on the particulars of your existence. We're in the middle of a strike down at the harbor, trying to force some sense into the executive board of Wild Pines. For one, I could use some more shut-eye in the mornings. He rubs his eyes and sighs. Right to work? Right to sleep, I say. Well, why are you sleeping out here while the others are out striking? They got it. Measurehead's got it. He's guarding the gate. I'm just getting some sleep. Or was. The way he says Measurehead implies ultimate trust in this head reckoner's physical prowess. He seems like a worthy rival. You should slay him. Physical instrument always wants to get into fights. Who's behind organizing the strike? We are. The workers. The union. We know what we need. What's right for us. You mean there's no leader? Oh, okay, I guess there's also Everett. He's in charge of the union. He's smart. Knows how to negotiate. He's got our back. All right, I'll let you sleep. The dock worker doesn't answer. His head is already back down on the table in sweet sleep. All right, I think the only thing left to do is now talk to the person who's been politely waiting for us. A bespectacled man in an orange bomber jacket is tapping his foot on the floor. Looks like he's waiting for someone. You. As you approach, he narrows his eyes and extends his hand in greeting. If an assault were launched on this building right now, if the windows came crashing down and the whole world descended upon you, this man would hurl himself in death's way to save you. You're sure of this, but why? Let's shake his hand.
Hello, I'm Kim Kitsuragi, Lieutenant, Precinct 57. You must be from the 41st.
I guess I must. You realize he's waiting for our name. Inland Empire says that this is our chance to come up with a really good name for ourselves. Get creative. Conceptualize. We could say that we don't know our name. Or, let's see, 28%. It's unlikely we'll be able to invent a name for ourselves. Let's give it a try, though. Actually, can I? No, I cannot level up yet. Let's try it. Failure. Raphael Ambrosius Cousteau. My name is Raphael Ambrosius Cousteau.
Yes, well.
He doesn't even process what you just said. Just moves on.
It looks like we had a little scheduling error on Sunday. Saturday too, actually. Have you had time to talk to the manager here?
You mean him? Nod toward the cafeteria manager. Yeah, I just talked to him.
If you don't mind, we should talk to him again. Ask him for a rundown of the area. Now that I'm here as well. I understand the scene is out back, right?
I guess it must be.
It also wouldn't hurt to assure him the police are finally here. In full force, I mean. Have you mapped out the initial interviews?
Yes, the police. I'm aware I'm a policeman.
Right. And the interviews?
What interviews?
At the 57th, we like to prepare an initial list of persons of interest, and then just skim the surface. Prepare the field, get to know the players. You don't do that? Maybe it's not an inter-district practice.
I have. Yes, I of course did that.
Good. But even if you haven't, we'll have time for that after we take a look at the coroner's case.
I don't know why you would suggest I haven't, since I clearly have.
Have you removed the dead body from the tree?
Ooh, dead body? I don't like dead bodies.
Sure. But did you take it down from the tree?
Look, man, you know, yeah.
Does that mean the body is no longer in the tree?
No?
So the body is still in the tree.
Empathy says that this is the first time we detect a weariness in the lieutenant's voice. It's obvious he would have preferred for the body to no longer be in the tree.
Where it has been hanging for 7 days straight. We should go there as soon as we are done talking to the owner.
What if I told you I'm not really a police officer? We all feel that way sometimes. There's no such thing as a police officer, I'm afraid. What remains is that there is a dead body in the tree. Someone has to figure out who put it there. If we don't, no one else will. That's a very pragmatic way of looking at it. He concludes, but first we have to take it down. How can you be so sure I'm from the police? I was sent here to meet a detective from Precinct 41. You have the insignia of the Citizens Militia on your sleeve and on your back. He points to your jacket. I suppose you could be impersonating him. You could have gotten the insignia from the black market or forged it. But for now, I'm going to set those impossibilities aside. I'm not from the Inspectorate General. Inspectorate General? Internal Affairs, and I'm not them. I'm from Criminal Investigation. You said insignia. These, white rectangles, you mean? Points to our sleeves. Yes, but they're just white rectangles. They're not just white rectangles. They bear a halogen watermark with the letters RCM and a pattern resembling the street grid of Revachol West. I would ask you to step into the headlights of my motor carriage, but again, it's none of my concern. I just need you to do your job. But shouldn't I have a badge or something? Check our pockets. You mean you don't have a badge? I have my badge. I'm a policeman, and I have my badge. Task gained. Report our badge missing. Oh, there's a moment's pause, and he continues carefully. If you didn't have your badge, that would be very bad. You'd need to report it on my shortwave. But since you do have it, we can go straight to the task at hand. But I can't remember anything. He looks at you for a moment in silence. I can see you drank last night, and the night before, and that you are still drunk now. But I've seen officers go through much worse. Much worse. If you need something for your headache, there's a general store nearby. But as I said, the dead body should be our #1 concern. Pain Threshold says that a painkiller would be good about now. This thing is pulsating with discomfort. And by this thing, I assume he means our body. The best cure for a headache is, of course, morphine. They won't have that, so cigarettes will have to do. What were we supposed to do again? Talk to the manager, then we go out back and take the body down. Let's go. Okay, we need to interview the cafeteria manager and inspect the victim's body. Okay, he's now in our party. So, surprise, it's a murder mystery, actually, is what's happening. Many quests now. Report the badge missing, interview cafeteria manager, inspect the victim's body. Alright, now we know what we're doing. Now we know we're a cop investigating a murder. Let's talk to the manager again, now that we know this. The man with the unimpressive beard notices you approaching. He drops the ledger he was holding and turns to the lieutenant.
Mr. Gart, right? You run this place.
Yes.
He responds tersely.
I am Kim Kitsuragi from Precinct 57. This is an inter-district investigation, so joining me from Precinct 41...
As I said, Detective Raphael Ambrosius Costo.
Right. Now, I know it took us a while to arrive at the scene. It also took you a while to call us and report the dead body. It was you who placed the code, yes?
No, I only just got here. It was probably Sylvie who called you. She usually works the bar here. I'm only temporarily taking over her duties.
Do you have her number?
As a matter of fact, I do.
Looks behind a pile of coasters, finds a slip of paper, and hands it to the lieutenant. Let's see. So, who made the call reporting the crime? Someone reported the hanging to the RCM. If we find out who it was, it may shed new light on the events. The caller could have been anyone. But now we know it's Sylvie, who is usually the bartender here, and we can call her using Kim's shortwave.
You said you just got here. From where? Are you a local?
What? With Martinez? No, I live in Jamrock. I only sometimes come here to keep an eye on the place. This is just one of the many, many cafeterias I manage.
Yes, he's not a bartender, he's a cafeteria manager. He manages many of them.
But you still know your way around, yes? In case we need directions.
Yes, I know where some things are. But as I said, I don't live here. I just used to work here. And I'm not going to start working here again, if that's what you think.
I didn't imply that. Detective?
Ooh, me?
Yes, Detective Cousteau. I have everything. You?
Oh, you mean, do I have questions?
Yes, he means, do you have questions for me? Like a police officer would.
The cafeteria manager is clearly agitated again. Where exactly is the body? Behind the building, there's a courtyard. He points to the kitchen behind him. They hoisted him up on a tree there. And, how do we get there, then? That's easy. See the door there? He points to the west. First, you exit through that. Then, to your right, you should see a big hole in the fence, a really big one. You can get to the courtyard through there. No need for the keys. The hole is big enough for the Franco-Nigerian cavalry to fit through. Does he want you to feel guilty about making that hole? It's implied in his voice. Who killed him, then? I don't know who killed him. I'm not the police. That's your job. Did you kill him? What, are you crazy? Of course I didn't kill him. Suddenly you tense up. Blood is being pushed to your muscles. You should hound on this. Hound him hard. The prey drive says. Did you kill him, Gart? No, I didn't. You can tell me, Gart. You killed him, right? I didn't. He turns to the lieutenant. I don't appreciate this. What is this? Why did you have to kill him? Do I have to answer him? He asked the lieutenant. Is this mandatory? The lieutenant stands motionless, his expression unreadable. Did he hurt you? Is that why? Did you get some kind of sick kick out of killing him? What are you, an idiot? I told you I haven't killed anyone. Anyone? Have you killed someone else, then? He ignores us. Well, I guess that line of questioning went nowhere. Why did Sylvie go away? She went away because none of your business. This is the second time you've avoided the subject. Oh my god, what's your obsession with this Sylvie person? Get over it. Empathy says that maybe it's him who's obsessed with this Sylvie person. Certainly sounds like it. That's all. Okay, task complete. We got experience. Not so fast, he points to us. You owe me 130 real. Inland Empire says, no one is saying the multi-pattern necktie you found tied to the ceiling fan can talk. No one. It must be merely imagination, but... Horrific Necktie says, let's bail. Time to push the eject button. Sounds like a responsibility. You don't like those. So, since our Inland Empire is high, things might talk to us. No, don't listen to him, says Volition. It's madness. Just talk. What's real? Oh, excuse me. You owe me 130 real. He pronounces the R with a mock aristocratic accent. Encyclopedia says the IIR, or Intersolary Real, is the global reserve currency. Whatever part of the world you're in right now, it's safe to assume he means you owe him some money. By real, do you mean some form of street cred? No, you don't owe me street cred. You owe me money. You owe this establishment 130 real. He points to the red ledger on the counter. Who's that clown think he is? Says the necktie. Arrest him. You're under arrest. You can't arrest me. I haven't done anything. Let's see, what's authority? Yeah, wow, 83. High chance of putting this man in his place. Let's see what happens. From the bottom of your blue soul, a term emerges. Refusal to aid an officer of the peace. You are impeding me from carrying out a murder investigation with your inane requests for money. But it's not inane. You owe me money. It is crude of you. A man has been killed. File a request for compensation with Station 41. We need to work now. Okay, you only have to pay for the window and the drinks. That's 70. I'll get the rest from your stupid station. I have no memory of drinking them. I'm not paying for the drinks. The ledger does. The ledger has a memory. He points to the book. The drinks are non-negotiable. There's no way your station will pay for them. Well, I won't pay for the window. Fine, I'll take it off the bill. You want to sleep in a post-apocalyptic shithole? Go ahead. But I'm not giving you another room. Cool. Leave. No, not cool. You still owe me 30 for the drinks. If you don't have it by tonight, I'm not letting you back up there. He points upstairs. That's enough now, sir. Good day. Alright, we have a quest. We have to pay for damages. But, I mean, we managed to get him down to only 30. By the way, where is home? The address is coming up blank in this place, sure, isn't it? Do I even have one? You've been at this hostel cafeteria for only 3 nights. Where were you before? You had to be somewhere. Far away? In time or space? Both? Doesn't sound like somewhere you can stay if you run out of money. So we could either want to try to find our way back home or embrace our homelessness. I'll live in a dumpster. I don't care. Fuck everything. Hobo cop. Thought gained. Hobo cop. Entertain the thought when you get the time. Maybe being a hobo and a cop has its advantages. So now this thing is opened. Hobo cop. A cop and a hobo cop. Upsides, can be disheveled, doesn't have to wash, carries himself with lurched gusto. Hobo cop doesn't need anyone or anything. No one can kick you out because you don't have a home. Never pay rent again. Never again here. You're drunk. Why did you ever come here, Harry? Go home. You're embarrassing yourself. Downsides, are there any? I mean, seriously, give me one. So let's see. Temporary research bonus, -1 composure, ungainly and rambling. Takes 4 hours and 20 to research this. So the thoughts are things we can encounter during our conversations. And we can unlock these thoughts and internalize them. So now I'm starting to internalize Hobocop, and as time goes on, I'll get to 100% on Hobocop. So that'll happen. Well, I think there might actually be nothing else to do in here, unless she has something else to say.
Hello again, sweetie. I see you met up with your colleague.
She looks at the lieutenant. Lieutenant nods politely. Reaction speed. Wait, who's Sweetie? Who's Sweetie?
Why, you are, officer.
I'm no Sweetie. Look at me.
You are a handsome man, officer, with your moustache and your chiseled jaw, and that silly dimple on your chin.
That stupid dimple has only brought me suffering.
Love can be cruel, sweetie. Love can be cruel. You must forgive me. I'm getting so scatterbrained, I completely forgot to introduce myself. I'm Lena. My husband Morel and I are staying with our friend Gary just down the street, but I come here for tea when they're away.
Her eyes glitter over the rims of her glasses as she looks up, smiling. This Lena is wacky enough for the motley crew. Hire her on the spot. How'd you like to roll with me? Whatever do you mean? I want you to be my wheelchaired partner in fighting crime, ridding backyards of corpses, catching sequence killers. Sequence killers, oh my. She sounds impressed. But I think you already have a partner, sweetie. A partner who needs you to help him get a corpse down from a tree. I know, but there are also side mysteries, sequence killers, and forays into the paranatural. I can assure you, with absolute certainty, there are no sequence killings taking place in Martinez. Now, gentlemen, no need to squabble. She turns to you. I wouldn't be of much use to you anyway, sweetie. Why? 3 heads are better than 2. Thank you, but... She looks out the window wistfully. Martinez isn't the most wheelchair-accessible place, you see. I slow you down. She turns back to you with a hopeful glint in her eyes. Perhaps another time. I don't know if you've noticed, but I don't know where I am or what I'm doing or anything. Her eyes follow your movements with some concern. Yes, officer, you do look rather dazed, like a stunned fox. But surely things can't be that bad. She won't judge you, no matter what you say. I drank so hard I forgot literally everything. Oh my, it takes a moment to process. You know where we are, right? We're dead, haunting each other. We're ghosts. Now, she tilts her head as she looks up at you with maternal solicitude. We are alive in a hostel called the Whirling in Rags, and the Whirling itself is in the city of Revachol. Honestly, I don't know diddly squat about Revachol. What kind of place is this? Her eyes widen. How would I even begin to tell you? Revachol is the most beautiful city in the world. We're fortunate to be here, you and I. I haven't seen very many other cities personally, but everyone says so. Revachol is a rare jewel. This city used to rule the world, though it has seen better days. There's a pause as she studies your expression. You must look quite lost. Speaking of history, you know what year it is, yes? All I know is that we're approaching the end times. Perhaps, dear, perhaps, but for now, it's just the spring of 51. Inland Empire says that she's perturbed by us not knowing what year it is, but not by our mention of the apocalypse. It must be the end times. The lieutenant studies you, rubbing his chin. I'm beginning to suspect that you might indeed be completely adrift in this reality, thinks the lieutenant. How can it be that bad? Never mind. We're in this now. I can tell that this is taxing for you, so I'll just ask one more question. What regime are we living under? What mode of government? So we can say democracy, dictatorship of the proletariat, leaders are fierce warriors who traverse the plains on steeds, governed by intelligent machines that perform calculations to determine the freest market, everyone hustles and grinds like a badass visionary. Radios are being used to control people's minds and distort our perception of reality, concealing our true masters, foreigners, and women. Cop, we're living under the cop regime. So we don't really know anything about the world that we're in right now. Why don't we say that, I mean, we are cops, so it would be good for us if we're living in the cop regime, I suppose. Actually, she raises her fingers, we're not. You could say that about almost any other nation, but not Revachol. Try one more time, officer. What mode of government? Some kind of democracy, maybe? No, sadly not. Revachol is what's called a zone of control, under an alliance of foreign powers called coalition. We have no government of our own, and what democracy we have is, she thinks, market-driven. If there are no government, how come there are cops? Oh dear, this is troubling. You really ought to know that, being one yourself. There aren't any cops in Revachol, not in the traditional sense. The status of law enforcement has been a complicated matter since the revolution. Maybe we should stop for today, sweetie. You look like you need a break. Besides, I'm not the best person to explain the big things to anyone. She's scared now. She realized you really are brain damaged. So how did I do? You didn't do too well, dear. It does look like you're having trouble remembering things. History and places. Remembering reality, in a word. It's very odd. A sigh. The lieutenant buries his nose in his notebook. But maybe a fresh set of eyes is what this world needs, and while I'm no doctor, such bouts of amnesia are often temporary. I wouldn't worry too much. She means this sincerely. Worrying won't do you any good. What's this revolution you mentioned? A defeat, I'm afraid. The people of this archipelago tried to build something new, something different. The rest of the world didn't like it, so they came and ended it. This was 42 years ago. But I'm a cop. Whatever it was hasn't stopped me. Of course, sweetie, I really don't know how to explain it better. Empathy says, I'm just a poor woman, she thinks. What do I know of these things? And how can I help you? Who could tell me more? Someone more educated in sweeping matters? Maybe you should ask? She turns to the lieutenant. No, he looks away. I'm not an encyclopedia. I won't be a guide either. I'm a detective. Get a reality lowdown. Of course, she turns to you. Then, I don't know, someone rich perhaps? Wealthy people are educated, though I don't know where you would find a wealthy person in Martinez. Sweetie needs money. Do sweeties get money? It's true, we don't have much money. Her expression becomes very serious. Oh, sweetie, I heard your conversation with the manager about your financial troubles. When do you get your next paycheck? If she could, this woman would feed and clothe you and every other sad, lost person on this earth. You've got guns of steel and a chiseled jaw somewhere under the bloated alcohol layer. Maybe she'd like to sponsor you. What's this? 92%? Wow, that's pretty high. Let's try it. This is suggestion. Success. Your deportment remains dignified as you shed a single manly tear. It isn't easy for me to ask this of anyone, but I'm at the end of my rope. Any money you have could help me. We got a commemorative pin. Sweetie, I only have a few cents on me, but she unfastens a gold commemorative pin from her left jacket pocket and drops it into your palm. I could give you this to pawn, just to tide you over. Wonderful. The lieutenant marks drolly. He has a pin. The pin is round and slightly tarnished, 3 sailboats in bas relief with the sun hovering over the water behind them. A chipped green banner at the bottom reads, St. Baptiste Summer 31, Dinghy Races. What is to pawn? It's easy. You bring a valuable item to a pawnbroker who then gives you money for it. You can get it back later for a slightly larger sum if it hasn't been sold, but you never end up doing that anyway. Where can I pawn the pin? Cross the plaza and follow the road along the coast. Down by the water, there will be a shack nestled against an old stone facade. That's the pawn shop. An old friend of my husband's goes there often. Says the owner is quite helpful. All right. I'll promise I'll buy it back for you once I have more money. Oh, it's not an ancient family heirloom or anything, but I suppose it would be nice to get it back. And let's just bring up that you seem to be in a chair. Yes, dear, I'm a paraplegic. Could I become paraplegic? I hope not, although the work you're doing for all of us is quite dangerous. Her eyes glimmer with admiration as she looks up at us. Towering over her in your insignia, you make her feel safe. Nod grimly. Someone has to do it. But not you. You're volunteering, so thank you, sweetie. So you volunteered sometime in the past for the beatdown and the hail of bullets? So very you. What is a paraplegic, by the way? It means I can't use my legs. I was in an accident some years back. Injured in the line of duty, as they say. Were you a rugby player? Oh no, far from it. Although, her eyes glimmer mischievously, I did come out to watch the boys play when I was in school. Oh, those tan calves. What did you do then? I was a training and development manager at a rapidly expanding mail-order shoe company. You think it would be a safe job, but I had to be everywhere, and, well, once I happened to be under some faulty scaffolding. I was lucky. This was almost 20 years ago, and I was compensated exceptionally well. One can only dream of such payoffs nowadays. She runs her hands over the chrome wheels of her chair. I'm sorry, it was rude of me to mention the wheelchair. Let's move on. That's quite all right. I'm used to people asking questions. I know they're thinking about it anyway. Empathy says that there's no bitterness in her voice. She's accepted the curiosity in her condition. Her condition inspires a long time ago. Well, let's get going. Of course, dear. Good luck with your case. She gives you a small wave. And, what did we get here? Well, we got a pin. There it is. This unusually tasteful pin was produced to celebrate the St. Baptiste Summer Dinghy Races 31. Has the warm glow of a well-loved memento. And we can see its value, 3.20 real. And let's see, reality lowdown. We have no idea where we are. Lena encouraged us to ask others to explain the world to us in greater detail. Perhaps try a rich person. Rich people are educated. And I think with that is actually everything in this place. And just like she said, perhaps now would be a good time to stop, as we have been going for a little over an hour now. And we're now actually getting out of the hostel and into the world, into the town of Revachol, where we have to solve a murder. And we are clearly not in any condition to do that. But fortunately, we do seem to have a competent partner. Even though we ourselves are, we have problems. Clearly, we have problems. So that's been our little look at Disco Elysium. And it's, from what I've seen of it, it seems very good. So of course I would give it a bully. Bully is quite happy about it. Yeah, it's just a lot of talking, a lot of conversations. The conversations seem very well written, and actually funny. And it just seems like there is a large variety of conversations that you can have based on your stats and what your primary stats are. But that's our look, our hour of the first area of Disco Elysium.